Peace, love, and light, family. Peace, love, and light. This is going to be an important presentation. Um, yeah, buckle your seatbelts, ladies, because this is a real one. And fellas, if you're watching, share with any of the women in your life, any woman that you know. Okay, we're gonna go deep into um, yoni diseases. Okay, and I titled this YouTube video "Yoni Diseases: How We Lost Our Sacred Femininity." Okay, so we are so out of touch, out of tune with who we are as women. Okay, we don't even know how to dress anymore. The kind of soaps we should be using, the kind of care that we should be providing ourselves. And this is all stemming back from not being aware of how to take care of ourselves, the kind of hygiene that we need to be taught at an early age, how to care for your vagina, how to care for your vulva, how to care for your womb, and all the other organs of your reproductive system is not talked about in our households. We're not talked about how to properly wash ourselves. The detriment of having multiple sexual partners and all of this causing excess bacteria, and then the body responds with the effects. Because again, family, every time I discuss disease, I always talk about how the disease name is nothing more than the effect that is happening on the outer body. But really, the excess bacteria coming into your sacred organ or your sacred womb, your yoni, is actually to protect this bacteria from going in and entering the uterus. So you will have reoccurring yeast infections and bacteria vaginosis, something called BARTHOLIN'S cysts. You will have challenges with the vulva. Okay, there's like little bumps that will appear on the vulva. There is something called vulva cancer, vaginitis, constant daily discharge, vaginal odor. These are all effects that are happening from a poorly fed and poor hygienic routine. And again, this needs to be talked about in our community. We need to start teaching young girls at an early age how to take care of themselves, recognizing the parts of their body, recognizing the parts of their sacred womb, of their yoni, of all of these parts that they have, that they're born with. You know, if you talk to the older generation, and we're going back into the 60s and the 40s and that era, they're not taught about how to take care of themselves. And what I was told from my beloved mother, may she continue to rise in the ancestral world. One of the things she told me was that she was never taught about her private areas. Okay, how to clean herself. See, certain religions and certain ways that we're brought up, we shield that from our children because we think in the mindset back then, the more that they know about themselves, the more they would want to explore and engage in sexual activity. But we have to start teaching our children, start teaching our girls early the sacred feminine practices, so that as they enter in womanhood, they already have this ancient knowledge on how to take care of themselves. Proper hygiene, very, very important, ladies. And what we're going to get into, we're going to talk about these yoni diseases, the reoccurring, again, the bacteria vaginosis, again, all of these fancy disease names that is describing your effects from a poorly fed body, from poor sewer systems in your body, which is your lymph and your colon and your blood. Okay, because all of this is stemming from that area, these areas, these systems. Okay, an overworked adrenal gland. Okay, pituitary issues, pituitary gland issues, which happens when you have low functioning pituitary, that affects your progesterone hormone. So this, ladies, we need to really discuss this not just on an anatomical level, but on a spiritual level as well. Start teaching your daughters early of her parts. I do this with my daughter. Since she was 3 years old, I taught her how to wash herself, what the different parts of her body means, parts that you shouldn't wash, soaps that you shouldn't use, because we're using all kind of baby powders, we're using all kind of harsh soaps that damages the pH, and we have this idea that the pH of the vagina needs to be high. Really, the vagina is an acidic muscular organ. So you don't want the pH to be super high because it has to be acidic so that it can create mucus to constantly ward off pathogenic invasion. So we have to know these things. We have to understand the inner workings of the parts of our body, you know, the soaps that we need to use, and the care that we need, the pads that we're using is causing all kinds of issues. Teach your daughters early, we need to teach women early on how to care for themselves, how to recognize themselves. And this will bring out and awaken your feminine spirit, your natural feminine spirit. And as you begin to do this, your hormones on a spiritual level, because a lot of times when we're trying to balance our hormones, we have issues with fibroids, we have issues with cysts, we have issues with all of these different yoni and womb diseases. We are always looking to herbs and foods and what can we do to shrink these different things. But we need to begin to look at it on a spiritual level, how to balance your hormones on a spiritual level. So we're going to get into that. Okay, it's very important that we do. Okay, so I am so excited because, you know, I'm very, very passionate about this. I've been hearing a lot about these Bartholian cysts. I had a few clients that have issues with this. And so I knew when I see something more than once, I have to take deeper eyes into it so that I can help the populace truly understand what this all means, okay? And again, I titled this Yoni Diseases, How We Lost Our Sacred Femininity. Because again, sacred feminine practices are not being passed down anymore. We are taught more to go after careers and become more testosterone-like. And that in turn produces testosterone when you're not acting in a feminine state. So we have to get back to that. We have to start passing this or having the rites of passage to young females on how to awaken their femininity. So we're going to go into that again on a physical, spiritual, mental, and emotional level. All right. So y'all, let's do this. Okay. Because y'all, I mean, again, it's something that we need to talk about. We need to talk about. So, oh my. Okay. Listen here. Yoni diseases, how we lost our sacred femininity, why we are seeing so many cases of Bartholian's cysts, bacterial vaginosis, vaginitis, yeast infections, abnormal discharge. Okay, and that's if you're discharging on a daily basis. It has an odor, it changes color from yellow to green. Clear discharge is not really an alarm because that also just shows right after your cycle, the ovulation period and all of that. So you don't want to be too alarmed on that. But when it has an odor, family, this is when we have to pay more attention. Clitoral infection, which also involves the vulva, and then vulva cancer. And if you have never heard of vulva cancer is more so like these little mold-like warts that will develop on the vulva area. And it's like right by the lips. It is on mainly on the lips of the vagina, on the bottom area. Sometimes it'll end up on the top as well. And it's very rare that you will hear about this because according to American Medical Society, that they say that this cancer is rare, but this happens, family. And again, this happens from lost sacred femininity, poor hygiene, and poor hygiene because we didn't know. Again, family, we don't really know how to take care of ourselves. When was the last time you took a bath, sister? When was the last time you sat there in a detox bath with lemons and limes and flowers and different kind of salts and herbs for the womb that you put in the bath, and just sat there and for about 50, 60 minutes and just relaxing. And as as you're relaxing on a spiritual level, it's healing your body also on a physical level, because family, everything is connected. So we have to get back to these practices so that we can ultimately heal. Again, I can just easily tell you here, take this herb, and this video will be over in about 8 minutes. Okay, but I really want to show you different physical aspects as far as spiritual aspects, because again, family, everything is one. I don't just look at the physical aspect of a disease. And this is what separates me from many iridologists, because I actually look into the iris and I'm able to tell what's going on with you spiritually, what's going on with you emotionally, what's going on with you mentally. And I connect all of that, and you have a guide, a plan for you to get the healing work done. Family, this ain't no joke. This is your life. Sisters, this is your life. And again, what you do now, what you do today, you learning here, you're learning not just for yourself, but generations and generations to come. So if you have issues or genetic, what they call genetic, I don't really believe in genetic diseases. I believe in inherent weaknesses. And let me tell you the difference between the two. Inherent weakness is something that I see in the iris based upon a specific marking in that region, in certain spots in the organ system gland region will indicate a parent, a grandparent, a great-great-grandparent, or an ancestor had this ailment in that organ gland system region, and that your body is already weakened to that area. So if you were to lead the same lifestyle as the ancestor has, you will be it would activate within you. Genetic diseases means that, okay, my mama had high blood pressure, my father had pancreas issues, I'm destined to get it. No, there's a complete difference. So we have to recognize the difference between the two. The iris will always show inherent weaknesses. So all the time, I'm constantly saying, you're not just eating and living and thinking and breathing for today. You are breathing and thinking and living for generations to come. So what you do and what you listen to, you tapping into the spiritual food now, the next 2 generations of females are going to benefit from this. So they won't have cysts. They won't have fibroids. They won't have bacterial vaginosis. They won't have vaginal odors and abnormal discharges, because you are taking the steps to understand this on a spiritual, mental, emotional, physical level so that you can heal your bloodline. Woo! Somebody get me a towel. Somebody get me a towel. Okay? Because this is serious. And we need to start thinking about generational health and not just living for today. You know, we're so busy living outside of ourselves. We live as this human avatar. We fall so deep into the pleasures of our tongue, which we need to retrain. Your tongue can be retrained, because all of the cravings that you have is based upon all of the toxins that's in your bloodstream, swimming around freely in your bloodstream. Okay, and then the tongue, the receptors of the tongue has gotten so used to the sugar, has gotten so used to the poisons, that's all it is used to, and that's all it recognizes. The moment you taste something bitter, you like, or something different, or something less salty, something less sweet, you can't take it. Over time, you can retrain your taste buds. So family, let's do this. Let's heal, and let's get back to our sacred feminine practices. Okay, let's get back to our sacred feminine practices. All right. So y'all know me, the iridologist, not your average iridologist. Okay. The iris reveals the health of your yoni. Okay. And so many people do not really understand the beauty and the science and the accuracy of iridology. Okay, so if you're new to my channel, you're new to my page on Instagram, wherever you are watching from, iridology is an ancient science before it was even called iridology, baby. It was an ancient science. It's an ancient science looking at the iris to detect dis-ease in the body. And as you see this iridology chart, each area of your iris has an organ system gland region. In the middle, by the pupil of the iris, is your stomach, your colon, your nervous system area. Then you see you have the left iris and the right iris. The right iris tells a story of what's happened on the right side of the body, and the left iris tells a story of what's happened on the left side of the body. Different markings will appear in the iris to let me know what stage of health you're in. So as a baby, you are born perfect. You're born with perfect irises. The density of what we call the fibers, density fibers of the iris is so tight because you have you're pure. You were untainted by this world of foods and drugs and all of these things that we indulge in today. But as we begin to get older, even as a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, and then 6, and then 14, and then 28, then 40s and 50s, you begin to develop different markings in the iris. The iris will become dark, especially around the colon is where I find the darkest regions in. You'll also have different inherent weakness markings. Remember, we talked about that inherent weakness markings. Everyone is born with that because, again, everyone has some kind of weakness in their family. So as young as 6 years old, as young as 2-year-old, I can see inherent weaknesses in that child so that you know what kind of foods to not feed the child, what kind of herbs to give the child to strengthen that already weakened organ from a past ancestor. Okay, so this is very, very, very important, family. And not just a past ancestor, but your mom, your dad, your grandparents, anyone in the family. So let's say if your dad has a pancreas issue, it'll show up in your right iris, inherent marking in your pancreas. Doesn't mean you have glucose issues. It just means that you need to pay attention to your pancreas. Okay, so that was just a mini lesson on iridology. Let's get right into the vaginal health. So you see, family, right here in the left iris at 7 o'clock, and on the right iris at 5 o'clock, you look at the iris as a clock. Okay, you see the 12, 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. This area will show the vagina. It will show if you have markings in this region, that will indicate issues with your yoni. Okay, and again, family, you don't see here that it's going to say bacterial vaginosis or BARTHOLIN'S cyst. It's not going to say that. You know, it's going to, I don't name a disease. Again, that's what I tell all the time. Disease names are simply your effects from violating nature. Disease names are simply effects from you violating nature. So you violate nature, and in turn, you're violating your body. And so all of these disease names are just describing the issue with the organ that you first violated. Okay, so this here will let me know if you're more prone to bacterial vaginosis, issues with the vagina, as far as Bartholin's cysts and all of those other yoni issues that we talked about. So this will let me know. So here on the next slide, I'm going to show you in real time, okay, irises that I've looked at, okay, that shows issues in the vaginal area. Okay. Oh, family, give me 1 second because we got, I want to move this over. Okay. Okay, so that we could start all over. So give me 1 second, family, because that's okay. There we go. I had to, you know, change the things up a little. All right, so these are irises showing vaginal troubles. Okay, now if you look to your left, these are both left irises. Now, if you look to your left, I have pointed out the vaginal weakness here. These are both looking at the left iris, okay? Now, this specific client here had challenges with Bartholin's cysts. Okay, and Bartholian's cyst is not just looking at the vagina. We also look at the lymphatic system because Bartholian's cyst is stemming from the Bartholin's gland, and it's on two sides of the vagina. If they call it, I believe they call it vagina or vulva vestibules. Okay, and its job is to moisturize and lubricate the vaginal area. So the first acute sign of this ailment will be vaginal dryness, soreness before the cysts actually arise. Arrive. And now that there's cysts involved, cysts is nothing more but accumulated waste, accumulated pus, okay, forming in one area so that it does not enter other areas of the body. Again, the vagina, the reason why it's acidic is to protect, it's like a barrier before it enters the uterus. So again, family, this is all, your body is designed always to heal. It's always designed to protect. And this is why your lymphatic system, the great lymphatic system, is your ultimate defense system, because it is designed to always defend and protect you at all costs. You are armed with different cells. You are armed with the fluids that you need if it is running smoothly, so that you're always in protection mode. So there is no cure, family. There is no immune system. We're looking at the great lymphatic system. Okay, so the Bartholin's cyst is directly related to that. And what happens is all of this pus begins to form in one area. You may have it on both sides. And this is indicated, or the cause, because we're looking at, if you look it up online, they'll just tell you some kind of bacteria. But yeah, it is an excess bacteria that is in the body, entered the body, and now the body is responding by grouping it into cysts. If it did not do that, it would be able to run rampant inside the body, causing damage to your ovaries, your uterus, your fallopian tube. So it's important that you understand this as a healing mechanism, as a defense mechanism. And then you want to be careful, because when you have this over time for long periods of time, and this is where we're going to go into that specific marking so that you can understand what kind of markings indicate what, then it begins to affect the lymph nodes. Then once the lymph nodes are affected in nearby areas, then we in a whole heap of trouble, because now the lymph is in great trouble. Okay, when the lymph is in great trouble, your sewers, one of your sewer systems next to the colon, okay, you don't have a functioning sewer system to move out the nasty toxic waste anymore. So now all of that nasty toxic waste is accumulating in the body, which leads to what is called cancer. So it's very important, family, to really understand this on this level, as I'm explaining it here when it comes to looking at the iris. Now, check this out, family. There are markings in the iris. The terminology is called lesions or lacuna. And as you see here, I also made a marking of in the left side, the brown iris, where it's growing pain extending from the sigmoid colon, which is part of the large intestine. Okay, so here, if you look at both of these markings, they're closed, especially that groin. And again, the groin marking is indicative of the inguinal nodes or the groin nodes congesting. See, all of this is related. The vaginal weakness and the nearby nodes are affected. Okay, so here, these closed lacuna or lacunae or lesions, anytime a lacuna or that marking, it looks like a little teardrop, an oval, sort of say. So anytime these markings are closed, that just indicates that the ailment, the toxins have been building up in this area for some time, and now it's beginning to seal off and encapsulate itself, where when any kind of healing program, not saying it's impossible, but it's going to be more challenging to penetrate that area. Whereas if the area was more open, it'll show that it's easier to move the toxic accumulation. Okay, so as you see here, again, family, I want to reiterate the similarities or the connection between this vaginal weakness marking and the growing pain. And as you can see a little bit around the pupil, there's a lot of colon issues going on here. Okay, the scurf rim is very dark, and also the lymphatic circulation is very dark. Again, your main sewer systems is your lymph and your colon. When these back up, you're going to have yoni womb challenges. We must keep the 4 main eliminative channels open at all times. That's your lymphatic system, your colon, your kidneys, and your skin. Okay, your lymphatic system, your colon, your kidneys, and your skin must be open at all times and ready and on site to be moving all of these toxins, to be working the way it should work. The colon, you should not hold on to a meal more than 8 to 18 hours. Some of us have having constipation, don't even remember our last bowel movement. Come on, family. We don't even remember our last bowel movement. We probably say, oh my gosh, it was probably like 2 weeks ago. This is a chronic ailment. And when you're constipated, your blood is constipated. Your lymphatic is constipated. Your kidneys are constipated. Your pancreas is constipated. Your vagina is constipated. So family, this is important for you to understand this on this level that I'm giving it and bringing it to you so that you can ultimately know how to heal yourself. I'm all about understanding the cause first before the cause and effect first before we get to the solution. Okay, now here you see this bluish gray iris. Now this is normally this is a light gray iris. Your eye color will change as disease manifests. Your eye color will change as disease manifests. So if you look here, this is a closed lacuna. Remember, we talked about closed lacuna indicative of chronic stage in this area, meaning that the toxins is encapsulated now. It's blocked off, and and we have to implement. This here is when we implement real tissue cleansing program. You know, it's more than just herbs. It's more than just saying, here, take this herb. We need to penetrate the tissues. And as you can see, there's a lot of tissue irritation in this iris as well. All of these white spots here, and you can see, look at here. Look at these, this is your lymphatic. Oh my God, family, let me slow down, okay. So you see these white irritation marks here. This just shows tissue irritation, lots of it. And then here you see another lacuna. This is more so in the neck area, extending from the colon and the autonomic nervous system. So this person will have challenges with their neck, the top part of their spine, more so the C3 and C4. If anyone's familiar with chiropractic charts, they'll have more issues with that, a lot of issues with allergies, tonsils, all of that. These are the precursor or the beginning stages of lymphatic disease. And you see here, these 2 white markings, that's your lymph. These are lymph stagnation markings. Look around the colon, how it's bleeding a little bit, how it's darkened in this area. That white acidic ring just indicates under acid stomach. So this person will have issues with digestion. They'll have issues breaking down food because of the low hydrochloric acid. So, oh man, family, you know, we have to look at the entire body and not just look at, oh, if you go to your gynecologist or you go to, you know, your doctor, they'll just look at the vagina and try to treat that. They won't look at your colon. They won't look at your lymph system. They won't look at your kidneys. They won't look at none of that. They'll look at just simply the vagina and treat you with antibiotics, which is the worst thing that you can do, because now you lower your defense. You lower your defense. And now more challenging. Give me 1 second, family. It's even more challenging for you to heal on that level. Okay, so again, these markings, a lot of lacunas here. This indicates a chronic ailment, a lot of tissue irritation. As you see again, the lymphatic issues, and again, the 4 main eliminative organ systems that you want to always Make sure it's open and operating, functioning or functioning properly, which is the lymph, the colon, the kidneys, the skin. Okay, and a word on the skin, okay, which is like the most, it's not really talked about as far as healing of the skin, the importance of the skin. Okay, and then its relation, and when it comes to the female, femininity. Okay, no wonder why we have so many vaginal issues, bacterial vaginosis, and all of these challenges of all of the tight clothing that we're wearing. And if you watch a lot of my old videos or my last videos on my Instagram page, I talked about the detriment of tight clothing, because this seals off the natural air that your vagina needs to breathe, to receive life, to have its own breath. You understand? So now you close this off, and this is where your yeast infections come from. This is where all of your vagina issues come from tight clothing. Okay, and then also it closes off the skin, one of your main eliminative organs, the skin. So now your skin is becoming so constipated because it can't breathe. It's so congested and it's so closed in. And now you will see the scurf rim. The scurf rim was the outer rim of the iris, which indicates the fluid systems of the body, the angiological systems of the body, the lymphatic and circulatory system is blocked. So we have to begin to dress like a feminine woman. Go back into the feminine principle and relearn how to dress yourselves. Relearn how to wear more dresses and skirts rather than pants with a zip up. What are you zipping up? And I learned that from Baba Phil. Shout out to Baba Phil, his book, The Wounded Womb, where he talks a lot about the way we dress ourselves. In today's society as women, we're wearing jeans and pants with zippers. Zippers were for men to zip up their phallus. What are you zipping up? So again, we have to get out of this mindset of wearing tight clothes, want to look cute to show off our curve. Okay, we have to get into more of the feminine principle of loose clothing and dresses and skirts and flowing clothes so that your body can breathe, your vagina can breathe. This is part of healing, because if you taking the herbs, you taking the juices, but you still wearing tight clothes, you still you're still limiting the healing process. You're still stopping the healing process. So it's important, family, to wear loose clothes and also the proper material. A lot of my dresses are cotton. They're very loose, okay, in that material. Okay, so this is very important to look into on how to dress the feminine woman, the sacred feminine woman. I have to say that because there's a difference between feminist and sacred feminine, okay? So we have to learn how to dress the sacred woman so that we can heal on not just a physical level, but on a spiritual level, okay? So again, I want to point out, family, that your iris does show vaginal issues. I'm not going to name it and say you have this, you have that. But if I see this marking in your iris when you have your iridology consultation, I will relate it to that and say this, I look into other areas of the body and ask specific questions. And then usually the client will let me know, okay, this is what I was diagnosed with, or I'm having issues there, I'm having markings there, I'm having troubles there, burning there, warts and all these cysts there. So that is what that will I will be able to see in the iris. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, so now, family, you know, sisters, it is time to awaken. It is time to awaken your femininity. Again, bacteria vaginosis, okay, your diet, number one, has to change. That means let go of all the meats, let go of all the dairy, let go of all the breads. Yes, your breads, no sourdough, no Hawaiian bread, all of that has to go. You have to let go of the alcohol, because mainly those who have this issue with bacteria vaginosis, they drink a lot of alcohol and they smoke whether it's marijuana, we say weed, whatever, weed, or these black and mouse, anything to do with smoke, drugs. Okay, so a lot of these issues come from what you're doing on a daily basis. You have to let that go. And it's easy for me to tell you that rather than you just stopping that, because again, we have to look into your spirit, what you have deeply encoded in your DNA that is causing you or leading you to this destructive lifestyle. Because again, no one wakes up and say, how I'm going to kill myself today. It's based upon past and old traumas that you haven't moved, that you haven't recognized, and now you are acting in a way outside of yourself within the avatar to engage in this low vibrational activity. So when you begin to heal and understand that everything is vibration and that you are not your past, and stop punishing yourself mentally, you can begin to heal on a physical level too, because nothing happens on the physical body without first consent from the mind, without first consent from your past experiences. So we have to begin to move that energy if we want to especially heal the sacred womb, heal the sacred yoni. Very important, family. Very important to understand that. So here I have 3 things to start: a yoni mudra, detox baths, and yoni steaming. Okay, yoni mudra, detox baths, and yoni steaming. Okay, now before we get into all of them, I want to first touch a little bit on mudras. Mudras are using of the hands. Showing it more so the power of the hands, and that all of the elements are in the fingers. And as you do certain hand movements, that's why you see like the Buddha, they always have certain hand signals. You have this here, which is the lotus. There's so many different mudras that can awaken your cells and your tissues for healing, detoxes your body. And literally there's a mudra for almost anything, any disease. It's a mudra for power. It's a mudra for energy. It's a mudra for detoxification. It's a mudra for circulation, heart, lymph, kidneys, you name it. There's so much power in the hands. Okay, so I would definitely, when you get off this video, look up mudras. I have a book called The Power of Mudra, which you can get off Amazon. So here, looking at this yoni mudra, okay? And this is something that, again, it takes practice over time, but I challenge you to do this on a daily basis, okay? And especially while you're taking a bath. So you simply take your hand here, okay? Make sure they're facing the back of each other. Put your thumbs together, and then the pinky goes together. Okay, so you here. Okay, sometimes I have a, there we go. There we go. Okay, okay. This is the yoni mudra, okay? And you can hold it like that while you're taking a bath for a minimum of 15 minutes. And again, we're going to get into detox baths and why we don't even take baths anymore. We don't even sit still. But yeah, you want to hold this mudra for at least 15 minutes, okay? And in doing this for 7 days straight, you will have your own experience. Come back on this video, comment your experience if you're up for the challenge, and let me know what this has done for you, what this mudra has done for you, how it changed and awakens your femininity, awaken the goddess Shakti within you, okay? And goddess Shakti, if you're into deities and different goddesses, goddess Shakti was the feminine, the supreme feminine goddess, okay? So that's just a little bit on that, okay? So so important, family. These takes consistency, okay? Again, all of these different vaginal yoni issues, okay, has a lot to do with poor hygiene, poor diet, okay, poor self-care, poor spirit, low vibration. And okay, we didn't even get into the sexual partners yet, and I'll touch a little bit on that as well. Okay, Detox baths, okay? As I said in the beginning of the video, when was the last time you took a bath? And most women will say, I haven't taken a bath since I was a child. I haven't taken a bath. I don't take baths. And see, the reason why most women don't take baths because it requires you to stay still. And most women cannot stay still today because they are lacking the estrogen balance inside of their body. When you have a lack of estrogen, or your estrogen is off balance, if it's too high, too low, you are operating more on a testosterone level. And there are a lot of signs that indicates you operating on that level. You can't sit still. You're always on the move. You're easily irritated. You don't want to be home. You want to be out in the streets. You always want to party. You always want to drink. You always want to do things outside of yourself. Because a woman, a true feminine woman knows that her home is home and understands that this home is important to look after, to care for, and to let nothing that is low vibration disrupt this home. A feminine woman wants to be in her home. She wants to be the homemaker in her home. She decorates it with flowers. She takes baths at least 4 times a week, and not just regular baths, CYSTS baths, herb baths, detox baths, goddess baths. Okay, and we do have a goddess blend. We're going to get into solutions of herbs and foods. We have a goddess blend with herbs and foods for the woman, for the female, for you to drink, for you to make as a bath. We have detox salts and detox seaweeds, all of these for you to heal, because baths are important. You need to incorporate baths as part of your healing plan, at least 4 times a week, and at least taking a bath for 30 to 45 minutes while holding that mudra. Baths are very important, sisters. Baths make it your best friend. And now to get into as far as the sexual partners, this is also one of the many links of the Bartholin'S cysts and the bacterial vaginosis and abnormal discharge and all of these so-called STDs, because there's really, I don't believe in STDs. Because then I always ask the person, where's the first STD come from? The HPV. I don't believe in that. You look up the name, it says it's caused by sexual intercourse. When did the first person get this HPV? We have to start looking at this on a deeper level. We have to start breaking down these names on a different level. Understanding PAP and papilloma and all of this, understanding that a virus, there's nothing outside of you that can attack you, that cannot attack an already weakened body, because we're operating on the old theory of the germ theory, that a virus, a pathogenic bacteria can somehow come from outside of you and attack you from within. We have to begin to look at it as the host issue. It is not the germ that creates disease. It is the host that allows the germ, the virus, the bacteria, the perfect environment for it to thrive in. So no, there are no STDs. Okay, it is only, I would say it is a STD, self-transmitted diseases. I coined it first. Self-transmitted diseases. Your lymphatic system, your circulatory system, your colon, your kidneys, your skin were already low, already poor functioning, already poor eliminating, and made it you the perfect host for this disease to thrive in. So yes, we do have STDs, self-transmitting diseases. We transmit these diseases to ourselves. Okay, so we have to look at sex as a sacred act. Women with multiple sex partners tend to have a lot of these issues that I'm discussing. Women with poor sexual hygiene, as far as when you're in the act of engaging in sex, not washing yourself properly, not urinating right after sex, all of these has an effect on your yoni health. Okay, having sex when you're not clean, especially if the other partner is not clean, because when we have these encounters with the opposite sex, you know, we're not checking for hygiene, because especially if it's a hookup. You don't know what that person's lifestyle is. You don't know if that person bathes. You don't know if that person is clean. And you're yet letting his phallus, okay, his penis, enter in your vagina. And then he eats all kind of food. And the average diet of some men are hot wings and Hennessy, and they smoke. So his sperm and his hygiene is, or his vibration is already low. So now he's entering that into your orifice. And remember, family, women, you are magnetic. So you pull all that energy into your yoni, and now all of these diseases are arising. So you have to look at sexual intercourse as a sacred act. You shouldn't have, or we should not have, multiple sexual partners. We should not have hookups. We should know the person. We should be clean. Both partners should literally take a bath together, take a shower before you engage in that act. Both partners should be on a clean diet, because now you know his sperm is clean, his sperm is pure, filled with fruits and coconut water and male herbs. He's a strong man. And now you're clean because you're taking your coconut water, your fruits, and your goddess herbs. Okay, we also have a King's blend for the kings who's watching this. So you have both partners practicing conscious sex. And this is one of the ways we eliminate all of BV and vulva cancer and all of this daily discharging. Because again, these abnormal discharging, the yellow and the green, multiple sex partners, and not even a clue of who you are sleeping with. So we have to pay attention to that. Be conscious of that. Look into that. Dig deep into your conscious and make a change. Okay, so detox baths. You want to do about 4 times a week. Soak, think. You need to think. You need to release. Because a lot of the trauma as women we hold on to, it begins to affect our womb. That's the seat. So you need to release. You need to just be. 30 to 45 minutes. Take a shower first. Take a shower before you take a bath always. Take a shower first. Because any dirt that you have on for the day, you want to shower first, for at least for 3 to 5 minutes. And like a cool shower. Okay, get some natural soap. You don't want any soap with parabens and paraffins. And that's another thing. All the soaps that we are using today is throwing off the pH of the vagina. You're using Dove. You're using all kinds of crap that doesn't even belong there. You don't even really need soap. You don't even really need soap. All you need is water. That's all you need is water. Okay, but I like to use natural feminine yoni soaps from a lot of sisters that I find, such as Fem Magic, goddessdetox.com. They have a lot of really good yoni washes, all ingredients you can pronounce. Okay, so this is what you want to get into. You want to wash your sacred organ, your sacred yoni, with natural pH balancing of the vagina soaps, and also your entire body. Throw out the Dove, okay? Throw out the Secret that you're using as deodorant. Throw out the Johnson & Johnson baby powder that's been causing infertility and ovarian cancers and uterine cancers. Now that they have these commercials 30 years after the fact that they introduced this onto ourselves, throw it all away. You don't need any of that. You don't need any of that. Okay, so yeah, said a lot, right? So you want to that's definite. You want to be mindful of the soaps that you are using on your body, that you're using on your yoni. Natural soap only. Okay, yoni steaming. Okay, yoni steaming. Okay, yoni steaming is an ancient practice, especially used after giving birth, to have the uterus be placed back into place a lot quicker. It helps with constant yeast infections and all of these different infections that we're having in the vagina. The BV, also the BARTHOLIN'S cysts, you'll find that that begins to shrink when you implement yoni steaming. And you, what it is, you have a seat that you sit on, and it specific herbs. You want to make sure you use strong herbs, strong yoni herbs for your yoni steam. Okay, and you use hot water. Let it sit for a while, let the herbs steep for a while, and then you want to use like a towel or a yoni. They have like a yoni steaming gown that you would use to cover, so the heat and the steam will stay in, and you will sit on the yoni steam for about 20 to 25 minutes in silence. You can repeat affirmations, different mantras of healing of your yoni. And this again is an ancient practice done for many eons ago. Okay, so that's also something that I teach my daughter. When she's washing her sacred organ, I teach her to repeat positive affirmations while she's washing herself. Repeat that, you know, your yoni is sacred. Your yoni is clean. You know, I have what's another one we use? We say, I have a powerful womb. My womb is disease free. So many different affirmations that you can teach to your children every day. Now, my daughter is to the point where she's memorized these mantras and affirmations. So it's important, again, as I said in the beginning, to teach your daughters proper hygiene, to teach them that they are sacred, that the yoni is sacred, and how to care for the yoni, how to care for their body by the way they dress, the way they think, and understanding how to move traumatic energy. Okay, so I definitely suggest to invest in a yoni steaming kit, if you have an area near you where they have yoni steaming available, to get that done, especially after a cycle. You don't want to yoni steam on your cycle. You should not yoni steam on your cycle and while pregnant. Okay, so yeah, let's moving on. I believe this is my last slide. Okay, so now we are into the last part, herbs for the sacred feminine woman. Okay, foods for the sacred feminine woman. Okay, all right, now the herbs. Okay, these herbs that I'm listing here are some of the herbs that I put in my goddess blend. Okay, that's my goddess blend. It's right on my website, www.holisticaPalace.com. Anytime you are healing of the womb, okay, healing of the yoni, especially if it's chronic ailments, reoccurring ailments, you want to always get enough so that you have enough to heal and to drink the teas for long periods of time. Okay, if you're having issues with a lot of BV yeast infections, I also suggest my Candida Kill blend, okay, which that helps to kill any excess yeast bacteria that's in the body to balance the pH. Okay, so that's my goddess blend and Candida Kill for those who are constantly dealing with BV and yeast infections, vaginitis, all of these different types of issues, discharging. Okay, but when it comes to what we were discussing this whole time, my goddess blend, okay, definitely you want to grab that. And these are some of the herbs that I put in the blend. Okay, so chaste tree berry, okay, which you notice a lot of these herbs that I use stimulates and regulates the hormones progesterone and estrogen. Okay, so estrogen is a hormone produced in the feminine body to give you the female characteristics. Okay, your breast, okay, your hips, okay, the way your body is shaped, okay, indicates that is the estrogen. Okay, then you have progesterone, which is more so secreted by the ovary or something actually called the corpus luteum, which is a cyst that actually grows on the ovary every time you menstruate. Okay, but it disappears after the menstruation cycle, but it depends on the female body and her health. Okay, so it's secreted there, and the progesterone is to stimulate milk production. It also works with the estrogen to maintain the balance of the female hormones. I mean, family, your body is always in trying to keep the homeostasis in the body, always. So when you have issues like fibroids, okay, this shows issues with the estrogen, whether it's on a high end and low progesterone. So this is why each of these herbs are all balancing out each other to balance out the estrogen and to balance out the progesterone, whether it needs to increase the progesterone, decrease progesterone, or increase estrogen, decrease estrogen. All of these herbs work together to do that. So you have chaste tree berry, which is also called Vitex, dung kai, which is really good for menopause, anyone with menopausal symptoms, menstruation problems, ovarian cysts. Black cohosh, okay, stabilizes high estrogen. So again, issues with fibroid cysts, you have those are challenges with high estrogen. Okay, so this brings the estrogen back into balance of where it needs to be. Okay, it helps with infertility and menopause. Wild yam root stops the growth of fibroids by increasing progesterone, because anyone with fibroids has to have low progesterone. So wild yam root is really, really powerful for stopping the growth of fibroids. Okay, and that's what I also put in the blend. And peony root. Peony root is also a flower, but we're using the root. Regulates estrogen and progesterone. So family, these are all of the herbs, and there's so much more that is put into this blend so that you can heal on that level. If you're suffering from cancer of the ovaries and vulva, and all of these different reproductive issues, I definitely suggest the Goddess blend and the lymphatic purification package. And that comes with herbs to bust up and break apart tumors, because the blood cleanser, we put a lot of those in there, like red root, blood root, oh my goodness, sheep sorrel, all of the blood cleansing herbs to do that. Okay, so I definitely suggest the Goddess blend and the lymphatic purification package if you're looking to do that. Okay, as far as if you have chronic degenerative diseases such as cancer in the area, and if you're suffering from that, don't be silent. Contact me. Let's work. I've also customized herbal packages based upon your needs. Okay, we're also going to be releasing a package specifically for reproductive cancers. Okay, but I do customize packages based upon your personal needs once you have your iridology consultation. Okay, so contact me. You know, email me. You can also hit me on my website, the chat. I'm always available on those areas. Okay, in those channels. Okay, so foods for the sacred woman. Okay, berries. Make berries your best friend. Make berries your best friend. Your blackberries, your strawberries, your raspberries, your blueberries. Make it your best friend. Again, you want to eliminate the meat. You want to eliminate the dairy. You want to eliminate the bread. You want to eliminate the chocolate, the coffee. All of this that blocks your major sewer systems in the body. Okay, arugula, which is it's so powerful for the womb, for the uterus. Okay, arugula, you want to juice it. You can juice it with kale, maybe some celery, green apple, ginger, which you see ginger here in the list. It makes a delicious juice. Arugula is a very strong plant compared to spinach and kale. Okay, but it's really, really, really good. So I suggest that green juice with arugula on a daily basis. A lot of green, a lot of iron. Okay. Fresh juices. And as I said, fresh juices with the fruits that is mentioned as far as the melons, your fresh green juices, your fresh berry juices, your fresh melon juices. And again, one of the things I didn't mention is just mainly an alkaline plant-based diet. Okay, so alkaline fruits and alkaline also slightly cooked foods. You don't want too many cooked foods because again, oil slows down the healing process. So family, this is again, just teaching you how to heal thyself. Remember those different solutions that I suggested, the yoni mudra, the yoni steaming, the detox baths. And you can also use the goddess blend to bathe in, okay? To actually put in your bath and begin to heal in. And then with the yoni steam, you want to get a really good kit. Again, I recommend Goddess Detox. They have really good yoni steaming herbs. And the food, family, the food, have to change the diet. There's no way around it. We have to change the diet. Okay. The hygiene. Okay. The soaps. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Hey, y'all. Okay. So the soaps that you're using, as far as the Doves and all of the stuff that, you know, we should not be putting on our sacred organ. Okay. So you want to use yoni wash. Make sure you can pronounce every ingredient. I'm gonna leave some suggestions in the description where you can go to find these different things. But again, really all you need is water. All you need is water. But of course, we like a flowery scent. Hey, I like a flowery scent, so that's why I use Fem Magic and Goddess Detox. Okay, so it's important when you begin to heal on this level, recognizing that you are a woman and healing on that feminine level. The body ultimately begins to change on a tissue cellular level. And this is where healing can take place on that physical level, because now you are recognizing who you are as a feminine woman, healing the spirit of your feminine self, so that you can ultimately heal overall on a physical, mental, emotional, spiritual level. Okay, recognize who you are. Wear loose clothing. Okay, enjoy dressing yourself up. Okay, and not being in t-shirts and gowns all day. Okay, you don't want to do that. You want to dress yourself. Dress yourself. You know, maybe throw on some vegan makeup. Okay, and put on some nice clothes and put on a nice top and a nice dress, even if you're working at home. Be feminine. Be the goddess that you are. Yes, you must. This is how you heal your feminine spirit. Okay, and then ultimately everything will follow. But the key also is the foods as well. Okay, and the drinking and the smoking. Okay, all of that has to cease. So again, family, if you're looking to book a consultation with me, an iridology consultation, you can www.holisticapalace.com. That's www.holisticapalace.com to book your iridology consultation on my website. Also, to purchase the herbs that were mentioned. And I have many different herbal packages on my website. But the herbs mentioned was the Goddess Blend, the Candida Kill Blend, and the Lymphatic Purification Package. You can also find that on my website, www.holisticapalace.com. We also have raw food capsules, allowing you to enjoy raw foods anywhere, any time of the day in raw food capsules. No other ingredients. It's not a supplement, it's a food. I'll also leave that in the description. And we have raw fruits, raw berries. Remember the berries, you must make your best friend. And we also have raw vegetable, which comes with arugula, kale, spinach, all that good iron. Okay, so I will also leave that in the description so that you can be on your way to healing. Thank you so much for watching this video, and not only just watching it, but tuning in to the spiritual food. And now I'm excited for the changes that are about to happen for you after you start to implement this plan and implement these new teachings in your life, so that you can heal on a physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional level, and watch the cells in your tissue change over time, so that not only are you healing for yourself, but you are healing for generations and generations to come. Because again, you are not eating for you today, you are eating for your great-great-granddaughter in the near future. So it's important for you to take this seriously, take your healing seriously, because we must activate generational health. Thank you for tuning in to my Yoni Dis Eases how to tap back in, or how we lost sacred femininity. I'm out. Peace, love, power, and prosperity.